Right, so now that we've got the introduction done, we want to write one paragraph for each of the characteristics so that we can show the examiner that we can discuss them in detail and that we can explain why those characteristics are used in this genre. So we have to go through basically defining that characteristic and what it is. So we'll start with the first one. An ensemble cast is one which includes multiple actors who are typically assigned roughly equal amounts of screen time during the episode. Now this, of course, is just a simple definition of what an ensemble cast is. What I want to do now is I want to provide an example of that characteristic from one of the sitcoms. So, for example, in the US television sitcom Friends, the ensemble cast features 6 characters, 3 male and 3 female, whose stories interweave throughout each episode. In Season 1, the episode entitled The One with the Blackout each character is given a story, given equal screen time during a citywide blackout. So Chandler is stuck in a baking ATM, while the other 5 characters are at Monica and Rachel's apartment, passing the time until the power returns. During this episode, each character has an objective, and they work together to achieve them. Chandler's trying to impress the girl in the ATM. Sarah Ross is trying to win over Rachel, and Joey is supporting both of them with advice. Whereas 3 female leads are searching for a lost cat and passing the time telling stories about their past romantic relationships. Now, if I really want to be clever, I'd go and make sure I got, perhaps a quotation. But even if I don't do a quotation here and I have one in the next paragraph or the next aspect of this paragraph, that would be perfectly fine. So I've gone ahead and given an example, defined the characteristic. Now I need to explain it. So the reason sitcoms use ensemble casts is because It allows flexibility for writers to focus on different characters in different episodes, and provide character archetypes and profiles that the audience can relate to. So we can see this in that 70s show in the episode entitled The Promise Ring, where we follow both Eric and Donna, as well as Kelso and Jackie's different expectations and reactions to the idea of a long-term relationship. This allows viewers who view relationships differently to relate to one couple or the other when following the story. So, for instance, when Eric is Donna the Promise Ring, it reads, to Donna, love this guy. And Donna responds with, it's beautiful. However, Jackie expects Kelso to give her a promise ring, and instead, he just gets her an ice cream. He has to try to calm her down. Explain that, oh, it's stupid ice cream. Up above. Now, what we have here is, a decent-sized paragraph, but if we go back to what we were trying to accomplish, we wanted to define the characteristic. So we wanted to make sure that somewhere in here, we were actually telling us what an ensemble cast is. And that's what we've done at the very opening in the topic sentence. Once we go into Season 1, episode, the one with the blackout, then we can go through and say that, you know what, we've gone ahead and explained in some detail here an example of that characteristic. So we've talked about how each of those characters got an equal bit of stage time or screen time in that particular episode and what they were doing. Then we've got to go on to explain, obviously, what or why that characteristic is used in sitcoms. And that's what we've done here. We go on to talk about the fact that the reason for the sitcoms, it allows the writers the flexibility, and also make sure that the audience can relate to them. And then it goes on to obviously finish off by making sure we've got an example of that as well. And so there we go. That's our kind of characteristic paragraph. Now we're obviously aiming for 2 of those and making sure that we not only define it but explain it as well and have evidence to back those up. So when you're prepping and planning for your characteristic paragraph, you need to know your characteristic in and out. You need to know why it's used and have some good solid examples from the text.